Hi there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. And we are talking about The Doors' LA Woman, the last album featuring the original lineup all together recording an album before Jim Morrison's death. Um, I believe they had just finished recording. I'd have to go back and check all the details on that, which I'll get to for a big retrospective I'm planning on doing for the Doors, but not here. Here we're just going to look at this album. Now, this is the digitally remastered version. It does have bonus material. The bonus material comprises a whole second disc. Got a little bit of artwork in here. That's it. Nothing major, nothing over the top. Just about the music on this one, we're going to say. And basically, the second album is all alternative versions with a couple other tracks. Just fluff kind of throwaway tracks, we're going to say. Alright, let's get into this album. Now, this is one of those albums that, much like Morrison Hotel when I was a kid, I always looked at the album going, should I pick this album up? Should I pick this album up? Should I pick this album up? But once again, I only knew 2 songs on here, so I wasn't sure if I should pick it up or not. It took decades before I finally broke down and picked it up because I wanted to finish out my Doors collection finally. Which is the same reason I picked up Morrison Hotel. Now, I am happy I picked up this album. A little upset I didn't pick it up sooner in my life. Probably would have affected me more as a musician, I think, with my wanting to play more classic kind of rock. Alright, the album and being a little more poetic as well. There's some cool stuff to this album. So, we open up the album. The album opens up with The Changeling. The Changeling is a good way to open up the album. It's got a good vibe. I like the story that Morrison's even telling about basically being adaptable and, changing from group to group and, people to people and being all over the place. And, you're just a constantly evolving person, the changeling. It's great. And the music behind it is cool. It fits it nicely. It's one of those times where Morrison's poetry and the Doors music really seem to come together well. After that, you get into the classic Love Her Madly. Now, I did not honestly get to know Love Her Madly until I was more into my later teens, early adults. Because it's one of those songs that it's kind of a greatest hits song, but I didn't pick up my first Doors greatest hits album until I was in my mid to late teens, I believe. And then that one, long story over that one going missing and then buying a new one finally. And then the original one popped back up. It was crazy. Anyways, Love Her Madly, though, it's one of those songs, didn't get a lot of radio play on any of the radio stations I listened to. Probably just because, it's Love Her Madly, right? But it's a good tune, and I really dig the music. Always have dug the music on this one. And even, the storytelling in it, about loving that girl even as she's walking out the door, just gotta love her madly. Now, that type of chaotic love that Morrison kind of professes in the song, that's a great kind of love if you're looking at a live fast, die young, leave behind a beautiful corpse kind of life, which is, poetically what happened with Morrison. Loving a woman that madly could be a little bit dangerous, so, great song though, honestly. Been down so long. This one's kind of more of a throwback to some more classic blues stomper kind of stuff. Really kind of dig this one. I get into it. He's got kind of that good old boot stomp on the front porch, jamming with the boys, kind of telling your story kind of song. That's what Been Down So Long is to me, except for, a rocked out version of it, a rock band. The Doors doing it. Cars Hiss By My Window is kind of the first song on this album that kind of flips for me, like really kind of, And I really appreciate what they were going for with the song. I really appreciate the attempt that was made. It's just not a song that works for me. It just kind of, yeah, for me. And then we get to the legendary LA Woman. I love LA Woman. It always has been one of my absolute favorite Doors songs. When I first started getting into being a karaoke host and I was building up my own karaoke collection, LA Woman was one of the songs I could regularly karaoke. It was, in my range, so it made it easier, and I loved doing it. It was a great song to karaoke. The whole song itself, though, clocking in at 7 minutes and 50 seconds. Obviously, usually you get a radio edit on the radio or whatnot, but this is one of those songs. One, if you're a radio, like if you're a DJ, you would call it a pee break song because you get up and you got enough time to run to the bathroom and go pee and get back before the song's done. But there's just this great build up in the right away when you get the car or the motorcycle going through the vroom, just got back and talk about an hour ago. Took a look around to see which way the wind blows. Okay, so great. Oh, beautiful song. Absolutely love LA Woman. And it's definitely, it will be on that top 10 list, kind of thing. Greatest hits package. It's got to be there. You cannot have a package or whatever without LA Woman. It's got to be the full length version, let's be clear. After that, we get into L'America. So, L'America is interesting. I really enjoy this one on the album. There's definitely a definite music art to it. And the band and Jim, they just sync up just right on this one. And it's one of those songs that just really, really works for me. The Hyacinth House. When the Doors go soft and mellow and kind of get all, as James Hetfield would put it, kind of hippie trippy, that whole peace, love, and flower stuff, that's where I kind of, with the Doors, I kind of tune out a tad. And Hyacinth House kind of works under that kind of vibe with me. Crawling King Snake. After going through L'America, Hyacinth House, by the time I get to Crawling King Snake, I'm just kind of like, and I've started kind of tuning out a little bit at this point. When we get to The Wasp, though, Texas Radio and the Big Beat, that kind of pulls me back more of that classic, basic beat, blues. It is. It's your basic, generic kind of blues kind of thing, but it's done in a way that just kind of boom, boom. It just kind of pulls you back and you're like, oh yeah, okay. I gotta pay attention. And you get Jim going and doing his whole little almost like proclamation kind of thing, and it's groovy. It's groovy. I dig it, man. I get into it. But like I said, it pulls you back in. And it pulls you back in perfectly in time to take you out with Riders on the Storm, man. And you could not finish this album better than finishing out with Riders on the Storm. Theoretically, LA Woman could have finished it out just as easily. The two could be interchanged, but it don't matter. And going with that, to me, honestly, the two best songs on here are going to be LA Woman, Riders on the Storm. As I already mentioned, LA Woman, 7 minutes 50 seconds. Riders on the Storm, 7 minutes 14 seconds. After that, Love Her Madly, 3:18. Anything else other than that is kind of discretionary based on the listener, I would say. I might throw America in there somewhere, possibly. Maybe. But overall, not a bad album. Am I glad I didn't pick it up as a kid? Yes, because if I had picked this up as a kid, as much as it would have inspired me more for rock in a lot of ways, it may have turned me off the Doors a little more than it did. I do definitely believe that the Doors are for a slightly older crowd, not so much a younger crowd. Like when I got the first Doors out, like the Doors album, um, I was 12, maybe 13, and I definitely was not ready for that album yet. It took a long time before that album grew on me to the point where, it's like, oh, okay, I gotcha. This album, if I had picked it up around the same time, would have probably ruined the Doors for me, to be completely honest. Now, I totally love this album. I throw it on, just let it play through. It's great to let it. It's a good play through album, when you're doing stuff. Um, and then we're gonna just two here. It's all alternate versions, basically. You got the Changeling, which is an alternate version. Um, I do enjoy the alternate version. There is enough of a difference within it, musically and whatnot, that it is worth listening to. Lover Madly, the alternate version's kind of cutesy, not really much different. You can hear a few things in there. Take the original version instead. Car Hissed by My Window, alternate version, just whatever, skip it. LA Woman alternate version. There are some parts in the alternate version I would have kind of liked to have heard in the version that's on the album. There's this great little section before it goes into the breakdown, or at the very beginning of the breakdown, where it's even slower and kind of more melodic and kind of lulls you a lot more than it does on the album version. And it works for me a little bit better. Be interesting to hear if I could get my hands on all the copies and make proper cuts and mixes. And really, listening to this, that's what it makes me think of is, oh, I'd love to be able to take this part of that part of this part of that part of this part of that part. It would be interesting. Probably piss off a lot of people. Be like, that's not it. The Wasp alternate version. It's okay. Been down so long. I really kind of enjoyed the alternate version. I've been down so long. It's not a lot different, but that boot stomping I was talking about felt like it was there a little bit more. And then you got Riders on the Storm alternate version, and the alternate version, it's definitely longer, more drawn out, but there's also more talking in the beginning, some stuff like that. Um, all the alternate versions honestly sound like the band was having some real good time. They were tight, they were together, they were having some fun jamming it out and whatnot. And Jim came in pretty loaded and winged his way through it, we'll say. Then you got She Smells So Nice, which is alright. I can see why it never made to an album. And Rock Me, which is, according to the notes I've got on the computer here, a Muddy Waters tune. She Smells So Nice and Rock Me both are songs that are alright, I guess. Sometimes, I would take certain songs and I'd put them into different mixes. And those I wouldn't put in any type of mix, really. The double album version is cool if you're a Doors fan. If you honestly enjoy the Doors and you want to hear alternate versions, the alternate versions are cool to pick up on here. Just the regular version would be fine, though. If you can just find the regular version, remastered, no bonus tracks, whatever, pick it up. Pick it up. Enjoy it. Have some fun. Put it on. It's a great album to just chill back, relax. You got some hobbies you're working on, put it on, enjoy your hobbies while you're doing it. Alright, so you've heard me ramble on. Let me know what you think. That's what the comment section is for. We've got a little bit more Doors coming, but not for a little bit. I want to do a few albums in between before I get back to the Doors and finish off the Doors. So, comment section, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That way you will know when those new Doors reviews come out. There's a link below that goes to Patreon. And peace, love, take care.